If you've got a coolant leak on your 5.4 liter 3-valve Ford F150 engine, then hopefully this will help. I don't normally do the selfie stick type video, but this one ended up needing to replace the water pump in my 12th generation Ford F150. That's 2009 through 2014. And it was going to be hard enough, not hard enough, it's not a terribly difficult job, but everything is really right in the front of the engine. It's kind of hard to get to, and trying to do that and film at the same time, quite honestly, if you've ever done YouTube videos, you know that any type of work like this tends to take about 3 or 4 times as long if you're trying to video it at the same time. So quite honestly, I didn't have the time to make a full step-by-step video as I was doing the work. So I'm going to do a little bit of a walkthrough. If you've got a water pump leak, or if you've got coolant leak in your engine, I'll do kind of a walkthrough just to let you know what I got into. Maybe make it quick and easy so you can figure out if you need to do it or not. Really, a telltale sign, if it is the water pump, is going to be, so we get this down in there, right there on the lower side of the water pump, just above the crankshaft. You're gonna see, you can see a little bit of residual where I had fluid, but right up under there you're gonna see fluid seeping down. Either it's leaking at the top of the water pump, and either way it's going to run down and it's going to collect right in that little spot. So that's going to be where you're going to look to. If you've got coolant leak coming from the front of the engine, chances are it is going to be the water pump, and if so, that's where you're going to want to look to see if you see fluid pooling up right there. So all in all, it's not a difficult job. Probably the hardest part is getting the water pump itself broken loose after you get the bolts out. For this particular water pump, you don't have to undo any water hoses. It's just the pump itself hanging on the front of the engine. So that makes it a little easier, but it is a messy job. If you're pretty handy, you can probably do it in an hour or so, depending on how hard it is to get the water pump off. It does take a while for the radiator to drain. I'd break that loose and let it sit for an hour or so to make sure you get as much out of it as possible. Once again, make sure you do this when your engine is completely cold. You don't want it to be hot because you will burn yourself. So on the 12th generation Ford F150, 09 through 14, with the Triton 5.4 liter 3-valve engine, to change the water pump, first thing you're going to do is drain the radiator. You're going to locate the petcock for the radiator drain. This will take a slotted screwdriver or a standard screwdriver. Turn this little nipple, you can just let it run out that nipple, or I attached a hose to it to drain down to my drain pan, try to catch as much as I can. This is on the passenger side lower corner of the radiator. The next thing, not 100% necessary, but it sure helps. You go ahead and take this section of the air cleaner out. You got a flathead screw there, and then just pop that guy off. This is the same. Anytime you're working on this engine, you're pretty much going to get that thing out of the way. It's just in the way. While the radiator is draining, you can go ahead and loosen or break the bolts loose that are holding the water pump pulley on. The water pump is located directly below the alternator. So you got the alternator, and then directly below that is your water pump. You've got 4 10-millimeter bolts that hold that pulley on. Don't take them all the way out, but while there's still tension on the belt, you go ahead and break those loose. After you get them broken loose, then you're going to put a 1/2-inch breaker bar into the tension arm for the belt, and rotate that clockwise just a little bit to take the tension off of the belt. And you don't have to take the belt all the way off. You are going to want to get it out of the way enough so that it doesn't get coolant on it, because when you do take the water pump out, even when you drain all of the all of the coolant out of the radiator, there's still water in the engine that's going to come pouring out. There's really no way around that. So take the belt and get it out of the way. After the radiator is completely drained, then you can go ahead and take the pulley off while it's draining. Once you get the belt out of the way, then loosen those 4 bolts and get that pulley off. Then in behind that pulley, you have the water pump itself is held on with 4 10mm bolts. One at the top, one over on the right side, one over here on the left side, and then there's one down at the very bottom. There's one down at the very bottom. Break all of those loose. They should be on with about 18 pounds of pressure. Once you get those loose, then the water pump should not just fall off. It probably is going to be a little tricky to get off. You'll need I had to use a 3-pound sledgehammer to bang on mine to break it loose and get it off. Once you get it broken loose, then water is going to come pouring out everywhere. So make sure you've got some kind of a catch pan down directly below it to catch as much as possible. Unless you're over some kind of a bay where you can just let it dump, that's okay. Once you get that done, you're going to want to clean the mating surface where that water pump goes. So try to be very careful not to damage it, but you are going to want to get all of the old gasket out of the way. And then once you do, then you can take the new water pump, put it in place, and just reverse the process. So these 4 bolts, hand thread them back in and work them like you would putting a wheel on, just a little bit at a time, so that you get the water pump on nice and square, and then tension them down evenly in a star pattern. It's a 4-point star pattern, and then get them tensioned back up, 18 foot-pounds. Then you can put the pulley back on, get it as tight as possible. You won't be able to completely tighten it, but you'll get it as tight as you can. Then just put the belt back on. I'll show a belt diagram as well for the 5.4. You put the belt back on and kind of put everything back together. Put your air cleaner back on. Be sure you close the radiator drain petcock where you drained all the coolant out. Then you're going to start refilling the radiator. There's a special funnel that you can use that has adapters. I got one at O'Reilly Auto Parts. It costs about $50, but it's actually worth it because it allows you to put a funnel on the cap, but then seal the radiator cap up so that you can pour coolant in and it'll purge air out of the system at the same time. So I'll show a link to that as well. That's kind of a must, because if you end up with air in the system, then you're going to end up with overheating issues. I did have a check engine light come on once I got everything all filled back up, and started the engine and got it running up to operating temperature. I did have a check engine light come on, but it was because I had started it without the air intake on. I think it gave me a mass airflow sensor issue. So I hooked up a scanner to it, scanned the codes, make sure there wasn't anything major, and cleared the codes. And then I've operated it up to operating temperature 3 or 4 times now. So you will want to have a scan tool handy just in case you do. If you end up disconnecting a sensor or something like that, you want to be able to check and see what that is. I appreciate you guys watching. So if you're not a subscriber, go ahead and subscribe. That'll help me out. I'm not a professional YouTuber. I do other stuff, but I do enjoy making videos. And if these help you out, then hit the like button. Let me know. It lets me know if my videos are handy or not. I'll keep making them anyway because I enjoy doing it. But so enjoy this. Hopefully it'll help you fix your water pump issue if you've got one.